Bill is a good role model for all of us. To watch how he interacts with others, to watch how he leads, to watch how he approaches problems from a pragmatic, business-like approach, but also doing so with very good sense of humor and easygoing style, I think has really been something that we can all learn a good lesson from.
I first met Bill in 1974. I took his class. He was a marketing professor at the time. You know, honestly, as a 19-year-old kid, I could tell then that there was something really special about this guy.
He does this class at the University in Corporate Governance, and I've been honored to be able to be invited to participate in the class each semester. I just think it's one of the great advantages that I've had to be able to experience that time with him in the classroom and see how Bill interacts with the students.
You know, when you take a look at his book on the Texas Way, he tells us the issues that really helped define his administration, whether it was apartheid, whether it was affirmative action, demise of the Southwest Conference, and of course going into the Big 12. And the question became, how do you handle those? And the interesting thing about Bill was that he was always hands-on. Not only did he set the policy, but he himself was involved in the policy. Managing this is a good indication of leadership. And leadership is bringing people together, getting people to talk about things in very difficult situations.
I don't know that a lot of people appreciate how difficult the job it is to be president of a university, much less the chancellor of the system.
Bill became president of the university at a very young age. He's 41 years old and was able to hold on to that job for 7 years. That takes a special person to be able to balance all the interests, the constituencies that you have. You have your students, you have your faculty, you have your legislatures, you have your governors.
And that's a huge challenge, working with the state legislature, working with the Board of Regents.
He likes to solve problems by getting people together and said, how can we work this out?
And I think one of the successes that Bill had as president of the university was to be able to balance all these constituencies, to make everybody feel involved and part of the process. That is a remarkable achievement for someone who started that process at 41 years old.
If you look at that service record, it's just outstanding.
Bill was recruited by Herb Kelleher to join the Southwest Airlines board in 2000, and I got to know him very well. He really brought a fresh approach to the board and to the committee leadership. We had a board meeting very shortly after 9/11. And basically our report was the forecast for the next quarter was pretty uncertain. And we had a tradition of passing out the checks to the board at the meeting for their services at that meeting. So all of them had their checks in front of them. And at that point, Bill picked up his check and he tossed it in the middle of the table and said, you know, we don't need this, and we need to do everything we can to help the company. And the rest of the board followed suit. And I'll never forget that. We've been through a lot together at Southwest Airlines. You know, he's just over the years proven to be one of my best mentors and really one of my best friends.
You always want your leaders to set good examples, both in the work that they do, but also in their extracurricular activities. And one of the things that Bill has excelled in is community service, and his pet project is the Canine Companions. And to be able to raise the funds to support that project of his. It's also raised the awareness in this area that I don't think existed nearly enough before.
It is obvious their love for UT and all the gifts that they've made, all their generosity.
Bill and Isabella obviously has contributed in a number of endowments in support of the university. And I think that's really something that is very telling about not only his dedication to the university, but also his character.
University of Texas is one of the leading universities in the world, and Bill deserves a lot of credit for that.
I think the greatest achievement is his continuous service through the ranks that made the university what it is today.